Hi, this is Antonio Galimberti from AG Languages. What do we have today? Today we're going to review an essay, a 4-paragraph essay. And what is this essay about? Well, this is the task. Imagine that you must choose between comparable apartments at the same price in two different buildings. One building has a fitness center, the other offers free internet and cable television service. Which apartment building would you prefer? Use specific reasons and examples to support your choice. That is the task. And here we have an essay with 4 paragraphs. All right. And we are going to compare the original paragraph and the one that has feedback. Okay, so here, this is the original paragraph, and we have the one with feedback, and the same here. All right. So what can you see in this conclusion? Well, this is a sentence, and the sentence says, I would prefer the building with the fitness center over the one with free internet and free cable for two reasons. All right. Yeah, what do we need in this introduction? We need a hook, and the hook is right this one, right? So that is the hook. The internet and cable TV are powerful tools. Nice. All right. Does this get your attention? Well, probably is not like a wow sentence, but it's a statement. And I'm like, oh, a powerful tool. Why do you say it's powerful? Okay. Then the student here is using a very interesting technique. The student is acknowledging that both the internet and cable TV are useful. He's saying they allow us to get a lot of information, even on matters like working out and gym routines that can help us to implement our own workouts at home. Okay, so he's talking about the benefits of the internet and cable TV. Then he uses a counter argument and he says, however, so to speak, he mentions first the good points about the enemy. And then he presents his argument as one with more benefits or stronger or better, let's say. And he says, however, if I had to choose between an apartment in a building with a gym or one with free internet and cable television, I would prefer the building with a fitness center for two reasons. Yes, so he has the thesis statement right here. It's a sentence, very interesting sentence that is right there, right after the background information in orange. So this is the thesis statement, but the most important part of the thesis statement is this one, that he prefers a building with a fitness center. That's it. Okay, so now it's clear what he will be writing about, right? And remember, he's using a counter argument here, right? To make his point of view stronger. So you can do this when you write, you can use counter arguments. First, in orange, you can acknowledge that the other point of view is valid or even good. And then you mention your position as a better choice. All right. Then here, this is the original paragraph. All right, we have a problem with the original paragraph. The original paragraph doesn't have a topic sentence that is closely linked to the thesis. For example, here he's saying, I would prefer the building with a fitness center for two reasons. Yes, okay, that is the thesis. And here, free communications services are the best. We are not correcting grammar, we're not correcting punctuation, we're only focusing on organization, remember. So free communication services are the best. All right. So what services is he talking about? Is he talking about phone services, right? Or maybe a car washing services? What is he talking about? So we need a statement that shows you your first point of view clearly. Look at this one. Free internet and cable TV services are not usually the best. So this is the first reason why he would prefer a building with a gym instead of having a building with free internet and free cable TV, right? If we put the whole thesis, now it's clearer what he will be writing about. We have the thesis, and he's saying, yes, you can have free internet and free cable. That's awesome. But when you get those free services, they are not usually the best. So if they are not the best, why would you want to have them? That is the point that he's making here. All right. So we need that here. He's not saying that much here in this introduction, right? He's trying to explain his point of view here, but it's not as good as in this one that has been edited. It says, sadly, services for which you don't have to pay are mediocre because companies, or in this case, buildings, that offer these free services will use the worst version of them, the ones that only fulfill the basic things, or the ones that only have the basic things, the basic packages. So you don't care about basic packages because the good stuff is in the other packages, right? An open free net can be dangerous because people are not protected by a password, and a stranger can steal important data such as your credit card numbers or your streaming services accounts or streaming service accounts, right? And free cable TV is not an attractive option because we're living in the streaming times. Why would you wait until that topic sentence? And then he's reaching to a conclusion saying having free internet and cable TV may not be so good after all. So, if they may not be so good after all, why would you want to have an apartment in a building that is offering you these things and view that as a benefit, right? Okay, there is an important correction that we have made here, and I want to share with you. It has to do with abbreviated clauses, or in this case, a phrase. Look at this. We're going to compare a couple of sentences, and we are going to isolate the sentences here a little bit to be able to compare them easily. So, this is the one that we have checked, and this is the other one. All right, look, this one. Right here. These two sentences are, yeah, we should be taking a look at them. Why? Because they have something that we call abbreviated clauses. All right, we have because. Let's focus to the information after because. Look at this. It says, oh, and an open free net can be dangerous because being not protected with a password, comma, a stranger can steal your data like your credit card numbers or your streaming services accounts. Okay, so this part of the sentence needs our close attention. Why? Because it has an abbreviated clause. And in this case here, this is a phrase that has been abbreviated. But in order to abbreviate a clause, you need to meet a condition. What is the condition? You have to have the very same subject in both clauses, the dependent and the independent clause. So, what is the subject after the comma? You are talking about a stranger. And who or what are you talking about here? Are you talking about a stranger? Who or what is that thing or that person that is not protected with a password or by a password? Are you talking about a stranger? No, maybe you're talking about people or you're talking about your accounts. So here, the implicit, let's say it like that, the implicit subject is not a stranger. Okay? So here, you're not talking about a stranger. You're talking about something else. Okay, the stranger is not the one being protected by a password. So you cannot make the abbreviation, the reduction. Okay, you only can abbreviate or reduce a clause if you have the same subject in each clauses. So since here you have a different subject, so to speak, a green subject and an orange subject, there's no abbreviation taking place. We shouldn't have it like that. So what do you need? You need your subjects there and complete clauses or complete sentences, not reduced clauses expressed in terms of phrases. So look at your subject here. People are not protected by passwords. You see? And a stranger can steal your information. So that's important detail. And sometimes we also make mistakes like this in our mother tongue. So we have to be careful with reducing clauses that have different subjects, all right, in a sentence. So the sentences are here connected to the topic sentence. That's good. We have just added a conclusion because he's trying to reason with his audience on why having free internet and free cable TV is not such a big deal or such a great thing uh, to have at home. eh, But he's not mentioning his final conclusion in that paragraph. No? He's just wrapping it up with a question. Yes, that he's inviting people to reason, but mentioning your conclusion, especially if you will address a different topic in a different paragraph, is a good way to conclude a paragraph. Okay. Now, what about the second paragraph? Let's take a look at the second body paragraph. And for that, we also need to bring down the topic sentence. Sorry, the thesis statement, which is in the introduction. I always bring it down so that we can compare the thesis statement against the topic sentences. So, in the first body paragraph, he's saying free internet and free TV are not cool. Okay, now what is cool? That is my question. No? What is something that you really think is worth it to get or getting here? A membership of the gym can be expensive. Uh-huh. hmm So if I read that, do I have the feeling that he's talking about going to the gym as something positive? Not necessarily. Good. So we need to change that topic sentence. Why? Because here in this sentence, he's saying free internet and cable TV are not that good after all. Okay, so what is something good? Tell me, what is something good? But I read this sentence: a membership of the gym can be expensive. And I don't receive a positive message, the one that I am expecting to find here in this paragraph about gyms, especially if he's saying that he would prefer the building with the fitness center for two reasons. Yes, the first reason is that free internet, free cable TV are not worth it. So let's go for the gym. All right. But that's not what I feel here, right? This doesn't have the positive tone that we need to encounter in this paragraph that is going to show us that a gym is the way to go, right? So, or choosing a gym. That's why we have changed the topic sentence. And this is what we have here. Living in a building with access to free fitness centers has more benefits. Now, I am receiving the positive message, right, that I am expecting to find about fitness centers or having a gym in your building. Okay, so in my opinion, it was necessary to change the topic sentence. Then he says being healthier is important. Okay, he's talking about being healthy. And then, so he mentions Not everyone can afford it. So he's talking about money here. And so a free fitness center is amazing. Okay. Not just for exercising, also for knowing people. So he's talking about meeting people here. All right. So he's mentioning a lot of benefits. And then he says, other advantage of having a fitness center is that you would not have to buy exercise equipment. So he's talking about money again, right? So if you want to say that money is green, so you have a green here, and then you have green here, again here, green, but then here you have a gap, meeting people. And here about health. So you see, in this paragraph, we have different colors that have not been put together or classified or organized properly. Mhm. So what is something better to do? To isolate similar ideas and to put them or group them together accordingly. So what have we done? We have started with health. All right. And we have living in a building with access to a free fitness center has more benefits. Since being healthy is important, a free fitness center is amazing, not just for exercising, being fit, and staying healthy. You see, we are highlighting health, but also for meeting people. Okay, now orange. In my opinion, if we start talking about another advantage, then you are just mentioning meeting people. But what is the benefit of meeting people? So you need to develop here the idea of why meeting people at a gym is such a good thing to do. All right. So we need more orange here, in my opinion. And after we develop on that, we can move on to the next point, which is money. Look, all of this green thing is about money. But what have we done? We have put, let's say, money one and money two together. And we have another advantage of having a fitness center is that you will not have to buy exercise equipment. This one, dumbbells or bars. A membership to a gym can be expensive and not everyone can afford it. So, having a free gym in your building would allow you to save money. You see? And he's talking about that here also. Yes, but um, at different parts, right? Or of the paragraph. So we don't want to do that. We want to put similar ideas together, right? To be able to develop important points. Finally, it would be convenient to have all of this only a few steps away from you. Yes, in your apartment building. That's amazing. All right. Or that would be because he's talking about a hypothetical thing. Now, the conclusion, we need to work on that. And for these two reasons, it is why I would choose the fitness center option. Okay, so this is not a complete conclusion. Remember, here we need a concluding phrase. We need a concluding phrase. After that, we need to paraphrase the thesis statement. Then we need to summarize the body, and your final thoughts have to be there also. Motivating people to act or encouraging people to think about your main ideas. So, what can we say about this essay? Well, it has 4 paragraphs. We had to improve the introduction a little bit. Okay, we inserted a hook and background information, which we don't have here. This is just a sentence. It is not a paragraph, right? It's true that it has the thesis statement, but we want to add a hook to get the reader's attention and background information to prepare the reader's brain, so to speak, for what is coming. Then you mention your thesis statement and you develop your thesis statement in the body. Make sure that the thesis statement is closely connected to each of the topic sentences. right? And the topic sentences have to clearly mention what you are going to talk about. They don't develop the whole idea, they just mention the idea. Why? Because you will develop your idea in the body using different arguments, reasons, examples, right? Now, be careful with reducing clauses that shouldn't be reduced. Why? Because remember, if your sentence has two clauses and you want to reduce one of the clauses and turn it into a phrase, in order to do that, each clause should have the same subject, correct? Otherwise, you would be creating confusion. Uh, Make sure that your topic sentences address what you are mentioning in the thesis. Remember, the thesis statement is anticipating information that the reader will encounter later. So, when I first read this thesis, it was clear for me that the author of this essay was in favor of gyms. Okay, but that's not what I felt when I got to read this opening sentence. So it's better to use style that matches with the thesis easily, right? And don't forget to group similar ideas together, right? And not to just mention things around in a paragraph, right? Correct. And in your conclusion, a concluding phrase, a thesis, a body, and I mean, you need a concluding phrase, summarize the thesis, paraphrase the body, and include your final thoughts. All right. I hope you find this video useful. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. See you next time. Bye.